All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Garage Closes at 9. This is now episode 8. Shout out to Kobe B and Brian up there. Um, so this is now episode 8, and a lot of things have been happening in the sports world. NFL draft has been taking place last week. First round of the playoffs is just about complete with the just one game left, I believe. It's Warriors and Rockets, Game 7, but everything else has been done. As you guys can see, Jonah's back with us. Missed the last episode, but Daniel took his place. So thank you for Daniel Wetter for filling in. It's back to us three for this episode. So I want to talk about the NFL draft, particularly about the Shedeur Sanders situation. A lot of controversy with that. And then I also want to get into more so the teams that have been knocked out in the first round, kind of talk about what happened there, and then we can discuss kind of what those teams should do in the offseason. So those are kind of the main things we want to get into. Any comments you guys want to open up with before we get going?
Nah, man, I'm ready to get into it. What about you, Jonah?
Yeah, I got a lot on my mind today. So as so as you guys noticed, the amazing Daniel Wetter took my place last pod, and y'all were just saying some outrageous things, and you guys were just agreeing, and it was crazy. Quick,
Like what? What are you talking about,
I
John?
got four quick points. First one. When you guys were talking about Steph Curry, is he top 10? And you guys were like debating. Absolutely. Steph Curry is a top 10 player of all time. And
Where's he on your list? Where's he on your list?
I'm going to show you right now. You better hope he don't win this year, because if he wins this year, he's cracking top 5. And he's passing a lot of your
No,
favorites.
he's not.
And
No, he's not.
when you
That's
got
He's
so
not going
ridiculous.
to. He's not a top. He's not top 5 even if he wins this year.
when you guys were naming people, you're like Magic, Michael, LeBron, okay. And then
Yeah.
You guys said Larry Bird. No one raised an eyebrow. Not
What
one
Three
eyebrow was raised.
consecutive MVPs.
what's so outlandish about Larry
Why?
Legend, man?
Why
Are
is
you
that
kidding
outlandish?
me?
You
His
gotta,
his his career was cut a little short because of injuries.
I don't care why it's cut short. But if you're saying top 10 players, Larry Bird is not just unanimously above Steph. Stop it. That's
Yes, he
Yes,
ridiculous.
is.
he
That's
Absolutely,
is.
he
ridiculous.
is.
That's so crazy.
Unanimously.
That's so
You
crazy.
Unanimously.
put some respect on
Unanimously.
Larry
Tell,
Legend's name.
tell
This
me,
dude is one of the greatest players that ever touched the basketball. Lace him up
Absolutely.
in the history of the game, bro. It's
tell,
like
tell
you're
me
acting
one.
like
No.
you're acting like this is some like we're like these woke like guys who are just saying this crazy. It's Larry Legend, dog. They call him
Okay.
a legend for the reason.
Jonah, you don't think about basketball post like 2002, okay?
Okay. So let me ask you this. What does Larry Bird do better than Steph Curry?
That is such a stupid
No, it's
argument,
not.
bro.
No,
That is such
tell me. Tell me,
if
Drew. Tell me what he
that
does
is
better.
such a stupid argument. First of
Not
all, you can
wins. Steph has more wins. Not shoot.
Okay.
Not
He's
dribble.
got
What
more
does he
he's
do
got more
better?
MVP. He's got more MVPs. He's a better rebounder, okay? And he came to a point in the league when the league was on a downfall. And if it wasn't for him or Magic Johnson and that rivalry, the NBA would not be in the situation it is today. They changed the popularity of basketball, and you have to respect that.
we
Don't
might
talk.
not eat.
Hey,
We
don't
might,
talk about popularity and say Steph Curry or change the game.
But I'm telling you right now, if Larry Bird and Magic Johnson ever entered the league, this wouldn't even be a conversation of Steph Curry
I,
changing the way he changed
I
basketball.
didn't say Magic Johnson. I said Larry Bird. Don't bring Magic into it.
why
Larry.
They
you why
both they
you,
both are the two.
you're so
Larry
sassy, Jonah.
Bird
This
during the
dude,
80s.
we wouldn't even be we possibly not even be having this podcast right now if it wasn't for Larry and
Absolutely.
Magic Johnson.
Absolutely. That
The
rivalry
game
saved basketball. Saved it.
absolutely. The game was going down. Basketball was going down. It was in the gutter. The ratings were trash. And that
Yes.
rivalry absolutely saved basketball, projected it into a national stage and an international stage to the whole
Yes.
world. And that obviously led, to legends like Mike and all of that. But we wouldn't even be having this conversation about the NBA and talking about how dramatic of a league and how great of a league it is today if it wasn't for guys like Larry Legend.
Okay, so you
Where's
just no,
Steph on
no,
your
no, no.
list?
You guys just named a lot of off the court things. I'm talking
Okay,
about on the court. What does Larry
okay.
do better than Steph?
He
Tell
he
me.
might be a better scorer. That's debatable.
No, it's not
Better better
debatable.
passer by
Absolutely
far.
a better passer.
Better
Absolutely a
rebounder.
better passer.
Not a
Better
bet.
defender.
Larry's not a good defender.
Absolutely.
Stop that, Drew. Just
You
'cause
don't
he's
even
taller.
you've never even seen a defensive clip of Larry
Go
Bird.
talk
have you?
to go look at interviews from players who played in the 80s. They feared Larry Bird. Absolutely feared Larry Bird.
That
And if
sounds
you
like
roll your
a
eyes, then you haven't done your homework. And you haven't done your
yeah.
homework.
That sounds like a lot of things that Larry Bird could be better at than Steph Curry.
I'm just saying.
Larry
Yeah,
Bird was so good. He played
that's
an entire game left-handed and scored 40.
bro. I'm just saying
And you can't say the
it's
80s
not a
was a bad
unanimous
era. It wasn't.
it's not a unanimous, oh, Larry's above Steph. That's a discussion, a long
But
discussion.
but you know what is unanimous? Larry Legend being top 10.
100%.
That's
100%.
unanimous.
You know how
Not
many
top
people
five.
have
He's
him in his
not top
top
five.
5? But I'm saying a lot of
No,
people have
who?
him in his top 5.
Who? No
And
one has him in the
former
top
NBA
five.
players.
Like who?
Former NBA players
Those are
do.
the same people that say LeBron's not top 10. They just love that old era.
Look, I'm not gonna say he's top 5.
Thank you,
I
B.
don't think
I'm
Thank
not
you.
saying that either, but I'm saying but people have that in the conversation, so he's definitely top 10. He shouldn't even be like the question mark of like our list. Go down the list. Go to our 8,
yeah.
9, and 10. There you can like discuss.
All
But
right.
I
where's
think
Steph on your list? What
Steph
number do you have him at?
Steph's probably between 6 through 8. Seven,
No,
6 through 9.
six, definitely not
he's a
6.
9 or a 10. He's 9 or 10.
I think he's 8 through
Larry's not 6.
I think Larry's 7 or 8. I think
I
Larry's
think we
like
had
7.
Larry. I think we had Larry at 7, didn't we?
That's right around where we brought him
Yeah.
up. So I don't think that's a crazy statement at all. I think that's
So
honestly like a perfect rank. What did you think about Tim Duncan, by the way?
I got no disrespect for Tim Duncan. Love Tim Duncan.
You think he's
How are you
top
gonna have
10?
no disrespect for Tim Duncan, but you're gonna disrespect Larry Bird?
Tim Duncan is a 5-time champion. He's one of the greatest
Larry Bird
defenders
won
ever.
3,
Yeah, 3. Steph has 4.
and
And he
Steph
had a
played with Kevin
stacked
Durant for 2
team.
seasons.
Bro, Larry Bird had
Don't
like
tell me
six
about
Hall of Fame.
stat teams when you want to talk about Steph
Bro,
Curry.
Larry had like 6 Hall of Famers on his team. He had Bill Walton coming off the bench, Vinny. You should know about Bill Walton.
I understand that, but it's
He
not
had
like Kevin Durant in his prime going to Golden State
bro.
after the team won 73 games.
They had
It
two
was
of the 3 best players in the league on their team.
The
Not to
championship,
mention Defensive Player of the Year Draymond Green.
you don't
And the
like
second,
Draymond.
it don't matter.
You don't like Draymond.
Back then he was solid. He was very good in his role. And not to mention Klay Thompson, the second greatest shooter of all time.
I don't get why you think us putting him at 9 or 10 is disrespectful to Steph Curry.
That's disrespectful, bro. Steph changed the game, is the greatest shooter ever, arguably the greatest ball handler ever, top 3. And you're just
he's a top
sliding
10
him down to.
player.
Come on, man. Don't disrespect
Any,
Steph.
anyways, Steph is top 10. We could all
Yes,
agree.
thank you.
But he's 9
I
to
thought
10.
I thought your main point was me saying Andrew's beating you one-on-one, not the Steph Curry slander.
Yeah, that's just my first problem.
Yeah, what else you got for us, Jonah? That's got you fuming.
My second one, how many people are on the NBA Mount Rushmore?
4.
4. And you guys
4.
had Kobe Bryant on the list.
Absolutely. What's
Well,
wrong with that?
what's your list?
So Kobe's a top 4
I have
player of
taken
all
too
time.
much disrespect from Jonah with Kobe Bryant.
I'm just asking you guys a question.
You don't love Kobe Bryant. You don't say you love Kobe Bryant. You clearly got something for Kobe Bryant, man, because it ain't love. It ain't love.
I love Kobe. I'm just asking. I'll just
disrespecting that man, dude.
I'm gonna just ask you guys a question. And I'll leave it alone. Is Kobe a top 4 player of all time?
That's not what the Mount Rushmore
Yes, it
represents,
is.
though.
See, okay,
No, it's not.
So then that's fine then. If you're not talking about on the court, you're just talking about like
we discussed
legend.
that. We discussed that.
That's fine. I'm just asking, is Kobe top 4? That was my only question.
Well, what's your Mount Rushmore? You weren't on the episode discussing, so what's yours? It's fair to ask you.
Top 4 players ever?
No, that
Mount
just
Rushmore.
said that's not what we did.
So tell me what Mount Rushmore means then.
Just in terms of like legacy and
the
basketball.
Faces of basketball.
Yeah.
Like it's a mix
Yeah.
of like greatness and also, just legacy and aura.
I mean,
whatever
do you
wanna
think
call
do you think Mount Rushmore, the real Mount Rushmore, is the 4 greatest presidents ever? No, but you can't say the top 4 players of all time. That's not what it means. So, what's your Mount Rushmore?
Mike, Magic, Braun, Steph. Those four.
All right,
Why are
let's
you
move on.
sighing? Why are you sighing,
Let's
Vinny?
move
Who are
on.
you taking
Why
off?
why is Steph Curry on it and Kobe Bryant isn't?
Bro,
What is Steph?
Steph changed the game way more than Kobe. Are you kidding me? Stop it, Vinny.
Go look at the international and the global stage, and you ask who's more famous, Kobe Bryant or Steph Curry.
That's not the question. It's not most famous
But
basketball players ever.
that plays into Mount Rushmore. That plays in everything. And
Yeah,
Kobe's a
it
greater
does.
player than Steph Curry.
And that's not even
Don't roll your eyes at that.
subjective.
Don't roll your
Yeah.
eyes at
You
that.
Bro,
better watch your mouth, buddy. What newsflash. Kobe
I,
Bryant is
Better
greater than
scorer,
Steph
better
Curry.
defender, better rebounder.
yeah, but I thought
greater
it wasn't
winner.
about just on the court. It's about everything. Steph changed the game more
Yeah,
than
but
Kobe.
he's got on the court and he's got off the
And
court.
he's got off the
everything.
court.
Listen, I think Steph is more like influential in terms of basketball than Kobe.
Look, you go to the Philippines, you go to China, you're not gonna see murals or quotes of Steph Curry like that. You're gonna see Kobe being Bryant.
Not like you will with Kobe.
Nope, absolutely not.
Okay,
Kobe
but
changed the game.
but go to the basketball court and they're shooting threes trying to play like Steph. They're not shooting mid-range post fadeaways like Kobe.
Look, they both had great impacts. They both had impacts, I think, differently. Kobe, like globally, Steph, just the way the game is played. But they both had huge impacts. So we're not hearing that, Jonah.
Yeah.
You better watch
You
your
can't tell
mouth
me
about
just
what
because
Kobe's saying.
you can't tell me just because the guy shot threes and now everyone shoots threes that's why he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Don't minimize him, Vinny. He didn't just shoot threes. Don't do that.
I understand that, but that's your main point here. You're saying he changed the game of basketball, and that's the biggest thing he did in terms of
I'm
changing
saying
the game of basketball.
basketball. What's the main thing in basketball? If any kid picks up basketball, he's gonna shoot the ball. And Steph is the greatest human to ever shoot a basketball.
when you shoot paper in a trash can, do you say Steph? No, you say Kobe. Okay,
What's that
am
mean?
I right on that?
I don't care about
You
that.
know what it means.
Yeah,
Andrew knows
means
what it means.
I don't care about
absolutely.
that.
Are you kidding me? I wasn't doing no learning when I was in class. I was shooting paper balls in the trash, baby, yelling Kobe. Come on, bro.
Absolutely.
You can't
Oh.
you can't say he didn't have an impact like that either, man. Stop it.
And I love Kobe. Kobe's the top, one of the greatest players ever.
No, you're not. No, you don't.
I love
Stop.
Kobe.
No, you
You're
don't.
backtracking.
No, you
You're
don't.
I have a
backtracking.
Kobe jersey.
Whoa! Oh my
Whoa.
God! He's got a Kobe jersey that he got from Ross. Oh my God!
I love Kobe.
You don't
Alright,
like
so
Kobe.
You guys are just Steph haters, man. It makes me sick. That man has done nothing.
We're not
wrong.
Steph haters.
Steph haters.
Having the guy at 9 or 10 all time is not. That's not something to hate on.
Haters.
So what else? What else do you got that you didn't like from the episode?
The third one, Terry Rozier. Come on. Come on.
Bro.
Okay,
Come on.
when I came up with NBA Tender, okay, I didn't think that ChatGPT.
You guys
Terry
were talking about
Rozier
Terry Rozier like
and-
he was like Kyrie Irving. I was like, my
Well,
goodness, Terry Rozier? Come on.
in terms of the guys he was going against, might as well have been Kyrie
He
Irving.
would have looked like Kyrie Irving out there, my
Come
boy.
on.
He's had Kyle Lowry guarding him, and some of the other Buddy Hills. Like, dude, he would have looked like Kyrie Irving out there. He might have looked better than Kyrie Irving. Are you kidding me?
I mean, Tobias Harris was the biggest mismatch in that entire team. So
Let's not act like we're like a whole bunch of Hall of Famers are playing in this. There's not one Hall of Famer in this list that was playing in that tournament.
All right.
don't tell Jonah that he's got Kyle Lowry in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stop.
And then-
Okay,
and then-
that's even crazier.
And then the most outrageous one out of all of them,
Oh, here we go.
Drew is not beating me one-on-one. Drew, tell the truth. If me and Drew have played in our entire
Is this
life-
right now? No, this is right now.
I don't care when this is.
Lace it
right
up
now,
I don't care when
we
this
can
is.
lace it up right
No,
now, Joe.
No. I don't care when this is. Me and Drew say we played 100 times one-on-one in our lives. Drew, I probably won 85 of those games.
Stop it. That is such
Well, hold on,
cap.
hold
I
on.
probably
That
won
is such
85
cap.
of, bro.
Hold on though.
At 24 in Cam before they closed it down, we'd always play those one-on-one at the elbow.
Okay,
Something you-
that was 5
time.
years
Yeah.
ago.
That was more than
Bro.
5 years ago when I was in 6th grade and the dude
No,
was
it
in
wasn't.
8th grade looking
No, it
like
wasn't.
he would look
Jonah,
like
it
Dwayne
wasn't.
Johnson in 8th grade.
Let me go
all
into
right?
further
No, it
detail.
wasn't.
I
No,
didn't
it
even hit
wasn't.
puberty back then.
No, it
Yeah,
wasn't,
you
bro.
got
Let me-
yours. But, when we were in high school and college, it's 50-50, dog.
No, it's not.
And
bro.
especially now,
Stop
you
it, bro.
can't even do a suicide now
Are you
without being
kidding
out of
me?
breath.
Drew, I'm smoking you one-on-one.
Look,
Jonah.
Bro, one-on-one.
Your takes are
Hey,
as bad as Charles
hey,
Barkley, and so is your stamina
hey,
right now.
hey,
All right, buddy.
hey, and the slander on my defense is crazy. That's 5-on-5. If we're playing one-on-one, Drew's not getting more than 6 buckets
Okay.
on me.
Okay, so
I'm locking him up.
let me give an outside perspective of somebody who's not Jonah or Andrew. Okay, I think if this was back when both of you guys were playing, I probably would take Jonah. But I think now, where it stands, I think Andrew would win 1-on-1. That's my pick. And that's because ever since I played with you over the last let's better part of 3 years. Okay, you haven't played for what, 2? Okay, better part almost 3 years. I haven't seen you play a lick of defense, Jonah. Not a
Nope.
lick of defense. Okay,
Bro,
He's not
and
even
because of
denying
that,
it
I'm
either.
taking
bro,
Andrew.
because that's such a ridiculous statement. That's like doesn't even reserve a response.
How
right,
is
so
that a
let's
ridiculous statement when we
Oh,
all agreed on it?
who's all?
Dan
Me,
was there
Vinny,
too.
and Dan, and we
Bro,
all said the same thing, and we all had the same exact reasoning.
okay,
It's because
what
Jonah Cottrell is a
Jonah,
cone on
prove me wrong.
defense.
what is
Jonah,
defense
prove me
mean?
wrong.
Tell me what is defense. Defense is about
It
getting a
means that
stop and getting a
Andrew's gonna
rebound.
stop you. Andrew's gonna stop you more, and he's gonna win 1-on-1.
He's
That's
gonna
what I
stop
think. That's
who?
what the
Who's he stopping?
it's a. He's not playing me 1-on-1.
He's not stopping me, bro. I'm getting whatever I want.
Okay, okay.
Whatever I want.
Hey, let's put a date to this. Let's
Bro,
put a date to
put a
this. When
date,
is
put a
when are
gym. It don't
let's
matter,
go.
bro.
Pull up,
Anytime. One-on-one
pull up
is
the
what I
LA
do.
Fitness, Jonah.
I
Stop
don't
it.
I don't play 5-on-5. I just play one-on-one and Drew's not scoring. I'm locking him up.
Okay. Let's see it. I want to see it.
Crazy.
I'll be there. I'll have the camera out. I'm
And and, and,
there.
and when you talk about defense, we're having a ref because Drew puts 2 hands on the defender. And that's a foul every time.
That is the most ridiculous
You can't
thing.
put 2 hands on me.
We're talking about the best defender in the chat, and you're saying I'm only doing that because I'm putting 2 hands on. Stop
Yes.
it. I
You
don't
play like
even play
90s
with my
defense.
hands like
Yes,
out,
you
bro.
do.
I don't. No,
As
I
soon as I
don't.
drive, you do one of these.
No, absolutely not. And I know you're not
I'll
talking
be
that because you're
unbiased.
not
I'll
moving
be
your feet.
unbiased. I'll
You're
be
not moving your
unbiased.
feet. Go for it, Vinny.
I'm saying I'll be unbiased if you like. I'll call fouls if I see a foul, but don't be so ticky tacky over here, Jonah. Sounds like you're a little afraid of Andrew's defense.
Yeah.
2 hands is an automatic foul. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, he wouldn't be the
If he's
first one
not
that was
fouling
afraid
me,
of my
I'm
D.
I'm getting whatever I want.
Let's do it. Okay, look, we're
Whatever.
doing this.
Look,
Okay,
all I'm saying is
Elbow, high post, low post, top of the key.
all
And
I'm saying is
no dribble limit.
no
no.
dribble limit.
No dribble limit. Yeah.
Why?
No, playing basketball.
See, that's why. If I can get in my bag, he knows he can't guard me.
Okay,
Bro,
well,
what are you gonna dribble
we'll
for
see.
40 seconds? Is that how we're gonna do it?
We'll see, Jonah. I want to see this. Let's put a date, a gym, a place. Let's do it. Okay.
All I'm saying is the people spoke. The people spoke. Look, you could take me and Jonah's opinions out of it. All right, we're obviously a little biased, right? But the people have spoke, and it's unanimous. This wasn't even 50-50, whatever. It was unanimous.
Who's the people? What are you talking about? Just Dan?
Vinny and Dan, yeah,
No,
those
that's
are the
2
people.
people.
Those
You're
are
acting
the
like it's
people.
100 people.
Those are the
There
people.
was. I did bring this up to a third person.
Who?
It was my dad. Okay,
Bro,
and he's taking you, Jonah.
thank you. Your dad knows it all.
I'll remember that, John. I'll remember that for sure. All
Thank
right.
you.
But then I gave my reasons. Then I gave my reasons as to why I think Drew would win, and he was like, "Well, if Jonah's not going to play defense, then
Bro, I
it
hate
might
that.
be Andrew. It might be Andrew 11-9."
I absolutely hate that narrative, bro. I play defense when
Then
I
you
need
got
to
to
play
prove us
defense.
wrong. You got
I
to
play
prove us
defense
wrong.
when I need to play defense. My team's gonna win at the end of the day because I'm gonna get stops when I need to. I'm not playing my heart out when it's 1-0 and I'm guarding someone that can't shoot. I'm gonna let him shoot.
You're gonna let me shoot. Yeah, please do.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about 5-on-5.
All right. Well, yeah, we're gonna see. Prove us wrong, Jonah. Because I wouldn't be surprised if you win. It's not like I'd be like, "Wow, that's an upset." Like I had it like 11-10. So prove me wrong. But there's a second part to that. Who's won the 3-point contest, me or Dan? Wow, you have to think about it that long? That's crazy.
Probably you, Vin. But that's an ugly 3-point contest.
It's a
Wow.
lot of like let's say it's 5 spots and 10 shots each. That's a lot of like 4 out of 10s. You know what I'm saying? Four
Wow.
makes, 5 makes.
I'm proving. You know what? I was gonna now say Drew wins 11-6, but you just disrespected me too, Drew. So screw both you guys.
No,
No,
Bro,
I'm beating Dan.
I 100%
I'm beating
agree.
Dan.
I think Dan's making 4 out of 10. I think Vinny's making like
Yeah.
6 or 7 out of 10.
I think you're beating Dan. But Dan's not a shooter. Like,
Don't matter. I can't beat him in a dunk contest. All right, so
that
yeah, well,
that
we got to do this.
yeah,
We're gonna make it happen.
that's the end of
We'll
mine,
ask
bro.
Jaime. We'll ask Jaime when we get him on an
He
episode. We're
knows.
gonna ask him his
Yeah,
picks
bro.
too.
Jaime
We'll see.
definitely knows.
He knows what's good.
Jaime definitely
He
knows.
I think you guys both
I-
think
I-
have different answers.
I think I might have a winning record versus Jaime too if we're counting like younger ages.
Okay, bro. Younger ages does not count when you're 2 years older than us, dude.
Bro.
And we played you in 4th grade, and you
Yeah.
already hit puberty.
Yeah, but that
in
doesn't
puberty.
matter,
Jonah,
bro.
you look
That doesn't
18
matter.
in the 7th grade. Okay,
Bro.
Dude
Okay.
had bigger biceps than me in
Oh.
6th grade than I do now. All
Bro,
right,
okay,
like let's
but-
not act like you were the average 6th grader. All right, dude.
So if you combine Andrew and Vinny's wins, I think I still have a winning record versus both of them.
What and what?
what are
Like
you saying?
like if Andrew and Jaime's wins versus me, say they beat me 25 each, I'd probably beat them both more than that, more than 50.
That's such a
That's so.
you have no
that's
proof to
so
back that. You have
stupid.
no
I'm-
proof to
I'm
back
just-
that.
Jonah loves saying stuff that cannot be proven or nothing. The cameras were
Yeah.
off. Like, bro, I
Bro,
bet you I did this.
You got no
I bet
receipts
you I
there,
did
buddy.
this.
Bro, ask him. We'll ask him. I think he'll tell you.
Yeah, whenever we get Jaime on when he's on an episode, we'll ask him. But we're gonna film this and it's gonna be posted. I have my pick, but I wouldn't be surprised if Jonah won.
We got to
Yeah.
get a king of the court too. Me, Drew, and Jaime, and then we'll see.
Oh yeah,
Okay, Jaime's beating both of you. Sorry. Like, what are we doing here? This guy's in the NBA still playing. You
Yeah,
guys have no chance.
I hope you guys hear like how like just crazy and delusional Jonas sounds right now because
I didn't say I would win.
I hope this goes into what you guys think of Jonas' takes and what he's been saying previously.
Bro, I said let's see what
Because-
happens. That's all I said.
The Delulu
I
has
think
been
you just
coming out more and
underestimate.
more.
I think either Jonah overestimates his talent or he just completely underestimates like Division I basketball and NBA
Okay,
basketball.
wait. So Vinny, you
saying
think
that we're winning the national title and whatnot.
Vinny?
When you have me, who stopped playing in 8th grade.
So Vinny, you think Jaime's beating me and Drew 11-0 each?
That's not what King of the Court is, right? King of
But-
the Court's not a game to 11.
But
Jonah,
no, like Jaime got
King
11.
of the Court, I
No.
think King of the Court, Jaime's not. I don't think Jaime gets off the court. I really don't.
We're not getting one stop.
If you do get one stop when he comes back on, he's getting a stop. Like,
No, I'm saying you think he's gonna have 11 and me and Drew are gonna have 0.
I think if
No.
Jaime's guarding you guys, it's gonna be really hard for you guys to score. He plays against National Basketball Association players every single night.
Okay, so tell me the score.
King of the Court, I don't like how it's like first to get 11 buckets.
11.
All right, so Jaime gets 11. 3-3. As long as Jaime stays on the court for as long as he does. I don't think that's a knock to you guys. This guy's in the NBA. He was an All-American Pac-12 Player of the Year, Jonah.
It's not a knock at all, dude. We're talking about a
Jonah,
top
you haven't
200
played basketball.
player in the world,
Bro, why are you saying I'm disagreeing? I'm just asking the score. I didn't say a word.
I'll give you guys 3 also just the fact like if one of you guys are guarding each other too. But Jaime's staying on the court for 85% of that game.
Hey, I'll tell you who's getting scored on the most, and it's not me. It's not Jaime. I guarantee you, Jaime would agree with that statement too.
Bro, I think
Yeah, what do you think, Jonah?
Yeah. Do you think?
Nothing. Let's just set it up and we'll see what happens.
Okay.
Let's do
Yeah,
it.
bite your tongue because you don't look like an
Let's
idiot
do
here. Granted, Jonah, you are a great basketball player, but there's levels to this.
Bro, I'm just saying, like in any competition, bro, I don't care who I'm going against. Like, I'm not saying I have no chance. Like, that's just my mindset. I
Yeah,
don't care
well,
who it is.
Okay, you sound like Anthony Edwards, but I'm sorry to tell you, but you're not Anthony Edwards. I love the confidence,
Bro,
but
Denny,
dude,
Denny,
come on,
bro,
Brett.
but
Come on,
confidence
bro.
is like half of basketball. This man, Drew, said that he's not even making Chris Paul sweat, and you think he's gonna smoke me and just like give buckets to Jaime? But he's not even making Chris Paul sweat.
I said the game was 11-10.
But he
Why
can't even
that's not
make Chris
smoking
Paul
you?
sweat.
Neither are
Dude,
you.
do you know how silly you sound with your argument saying that I don't think I'll make Chris Paul sweat? That's your argument? Is that your argument, Jonah?
I'm saying the
Because
mindset.
I'm
I'm
not
saying the
confident enough
mindset.
that I'll make Chris Paul a first ballot Hall of Famer sweat in a one-on-one tournament. That's your argument?
Yeah,
I'm just
it's
talking about
ridiculous.
mindset. If you don't think you can do it, you can't do it.
Well, I know you can't beat Jaime. So, like, I'll give you
That's
3
fine.
points. Jeez.
Thank you for the 3.
Now, I don't know that you can beat Andrew. I'm just if I was a betting man, I'm taking him 11-10. That's what's so bad about that. Prove me wrong.
That's a close game, bro. It's not. He's not saying it's
And
a blowout or
we gotta get
anything.
on the
That comes
court,
down to one
man.
shot.
We gotta get on the court. We're setting up the king of the court, 1-on-1, all that. 3-point contest. Oh, wait, 3-point contest. Me, Drew, and Jaime. 25 shots. Go ahead.
Jaime.
What 3-point
NBA
line?
players, NBA players
College,
do
college,
not miss.
college, college.
NBA players, do you know
Uh,
that when they're just like open gym, they don't miss.
Yeah, but it's not open gym. It's a 3-point contest.
I'm just saying, like when they're in the
but
gym and they're just taking practice shots, they don't miss. Jaime
Okay.
all day, every day.
Okay,
Jonah,
so how many is he making? How many is Drew making? How many am I making?
hold on,
Dude, you're
Jonah.
gonna make Jaime not want to come on the show with the disrespect
Bro,
you have for
how am
this
I
guy right
disrespect?
now.
I'm asking you a question.
You're saying
Jaime
it's not going
is
to be an
winning.
open gym. What? You think we're going to go in crypto and have a sold out arena? Like, yeah, it's going to be an open gym and we're going to shoot 25 shots. I think the guy who's in the NBA who gets up 1,000 shots a day and works
He
out at the
he he
gym
might.
2 to 3 times a
He's
day,
capable of going 25 or 25. I'll give him 22. I'll give him 22.
especially
What
at
does Drew
a
get?
At a college line too? Stop it.
What does Drew
yeah,
get?
that's like a layup for NBA players.
I'm
Yeah.
aware. What does Drew get?
So I'll give Jaime. I'll take 22 to 23, and I'll give both of you 18. What's wrong with 18 for 25?
That's not bad, bro.
That's
Jonah,
not bad. But what what is wrong with that? It's not like I said 12.
That's fine.
You guys are
Dang.
great shooters, but this guy's in the NBA. Like, come on.
That's
What are
fine.
we talking about here?
Okay.
You think
You have nothing to-
you think you can throw a football better than Patrick Mahomes too, Jonah? Is that what you're gonna let me guess? Like, is there anything else you think you can do better than these pro athletes?
Bro, I didn't say I would beat him. I just asked Vinny for a score. What do you think the score would be, Drew?
For what? The shooting?
3-point contest. 25 shots.
I think you'd probably get like 22 to 23. I think we'd get 18 to 20.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with that.
That's fair.
What am I
That's
getting?
not bad at all.
What am I getting?
12.
I was putting myself around 13, 12, 13.
Yeah, I was gonna say 12 to 14. 14 if he gets hot.
Yeah, hey, there might be a 15 in there, but there could be an 8 too. There could be an 8. Just depends how the shots go.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you guys this. Do me or Drew have a better chance at beating Hyman in a 3-point contest or 1-on-1?
3-point, 100%.
3-point, absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Because I think you guys are also very similar in the sense like open gym, and you're just taking your like set shots, warming up. Like you guys are gonna you're gonna hit a lot of shots, but you guys don't have the bag work of an NBA player. You just don't. Like there's no disrespect to you guys, but I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, this guy is matched up against LeBron James, Kawhi Leonard, the Paul Georges of the world, like the top forwards in the league. The guy plays forward and wing, and he's going up against you two. Like, come on, dude.
Okay, wait. What about this? Me and Drew versus Jaime. What's the score? That's
What are we doing?
that's interesting.
A 2 versus 1?
2 versus 1.
2-1. You guys
Bro.
will win. I'll give it
Thank
you
you,
guys.
thank you.
I'll give it to you guys.
Okay, but that doesn't even
If
make
you
you feel
want,
good, Jonah.
if that makes you sleep well at night, Jonah, I'll give you that.
Thank
If
you.
we
Thank you.
can't, I don't care who it is. If we can't beat one person in a 2v1, like,
Hey,
bro,
Drew,
we got a
Drew.
problem.
Bro, I don't think
Drew, just
we should not
remember.
be
Bro,
talking about basketball on a podcast.
I don't think we could beat Wemby 2-on-1.
Hey, Drew, just remember though, JJ Redick's your coach. Okay, JJ
Oh,
Redick.
yeah,
in a good
yeah.
position.
Bro, dude. And Jonah, we talked about this a little bit before the podcast, but Jonah's got some hot takes about JJ Redick that we're gonna get into later, by the way.
Yeah.
If we want to
Yeah.
use that as a transition.
I will say this. When I said you guys want to open the floor for any opening thoughts, I didn't think it was going to turn into a 30-minute monologue of Jonah saying what we did
Bro,
wrong last episode.
honestly, this beginning of the pod is exactly how the garage, like this is more of the conversation in the weight room.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
This is how it works.
a little more cussing in the garage and all of that.
Yeah.
We got a little
It was
more
a lot
filter
of-
on right now.
A little more filter on. There was a lot of Larry Bird talk of is he or is he not, whatever the conversation is. A lot of Steph Curry and then a lot of us just going at each other. So, yeah, you guys are getting a hands-on experience here of what it looked like.
But I don't even understand how you could think you're not making Chris Paul sweat, but you think you're doing all these other things.
Jonah, I don't know what your obsession is with making dudes sweat, bro. Like,
Yeah, it was weird.
Whoa, what'd he do? He has
that.
one drop of sweat. Oh my God, guys, I won. Like, damn, Jonah.
Oh my God.
That's crazy.
You keep picking on a 40-year-old man, too. Why are you picking on Chris Paul?
We'll get in the gym, don't worry. And we'll bring the cameras, and then we'll show you guys, and you'll see.
We're gonna get a one-on-one game of Andrew and Jonah, three-point contest of me and Dan, and then if Jaime's there, I'll let you guys do King of the Court and watch him whoop your ass.
Hey, and a 3-point contest.
Yep. Hey, yo, question.
And watch him whoop your ass.
Do we think we'd have a better chance at a 3-point contest at the NBA 3-point line?
No, college.
Against Jaime?
Against Jaime. I think we might have it better at the NBA.
No, because he doesn't practice college threes. That's like a long two.
But dude, that's like a layup, bro.
It's hard to say. It's hard to say.
It's just an easier
it's hard to say
3-pointer.
because no, I know that, but it's gonna. I mean, it's give or take, right? So if we move the three back to the NBA 3-point line, wouldn't the shot be harder for you guys? It's gonna be easier for Jaime.
I think it's harder for both, which is why I think that might possibly work in our favor.
Nah, I want to stay at the college. He doesn't.
I think Jaime's making 22, 23 regardless. I don't think this makes a difference.
Bro,
but Jaime's not going to care.
He's
not going to care.
No,
he's not going to care.
Well, if it's a college line?
No, he's not going to care. He's beating you regardless. So whatever you guys want for your advantage.
Yeah, college and 5 shots each spot. Yeah. We'll see.
I'll give you guys 18.
Bro, that's close though.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean it's an open shot. You guys get 18, but I think he's getting 22 at least. All right, that's enough of that. We'll film a day when Jaime's back in California this offseason, and we're gonna get into a gym somewhere, and we'll hash all this stuff out. All right.
Yeah.
So Jonah, just show up and play some defense that day. All right.
Yeah. Hey, you'll see my defense. Trust. You'll see.
All right. Prove me and Dan wrong.
You better tie those shoes tight, baby. You better tie them shoes tight.
Yep, you'll see.
All right, so let's just stay on the topic of basketball. We're going to talk NFL, NBA playoffs. We'll finish with the NFL. So first round of the playoffs, like we said, there's only one game left in the first round. It's Warriors-Rockets Game 7, so we'll stay away from that. But let's talk about the teams who have been knocked out already. So teams like the Bucks, teams like the Lakers, teams like the Clippers, kind of the bigger market teams or the bigger name players that are on those teams. So what team do you guys want to start with what happened in the series that they got knocked out in, and where do they go from there?
We're starting with the Lakers. That's not a question. Stop it.
All right,
Yeah.
so
You guys got a lot
we
of
all
explaining to do.
just to confirm, we all had our predictions for the first round, and we went 0 for 3. We all had the Lakers winning the series. I think I had them in 5. You guys had them in 6.
Yeah.
They lost in 5, so we were all wrong. So, Jonah, before you want to come here and act almighty that me and Drew are so wrong here, you're in the same boat as us here. So,
We were
what do
all
we have
wrong.
to explain?
You guys
Yeah.
have some explaining to do about your
Why
Los
don't
Angeles
you?
Lakers.
Well,
The
Okay.
reason is
just to
with
confirm, when they got Luka Doncic, you were Team Lakers, and I don't want to hear anything different.
with reservations. I wasn't 100%. This is what happened.
Okay. Okay.
I
I'm
told
pulling
you
up
guys
receipts. I'm
I
pulling. Keep talking.
I told you guys there's two reasons that you might not win. And both of those reasons are the exact reason you didn't win. One, JJ Redick. Two, Austin Reeves. You guys valued Austin Reeves too much. I told you trade him
Why
for
you got
no,
JJ
no,
Redick
no,
as
no,
our
no.
coach for the NCAA tournament
Don't
if
start
he's
yet,
so
Vinny.
flawed here, buddy?
Don't run from the truth. I told you trade Austin Reeves, go get Miles Turner, go get Cam Johnson. You guys said no. You guys said no to that. You guys would still be playing. You would be holding up a championship at the end of this year if you listened to me. But instead, oh no, Austin Reeves, he has a bag. He can score. Have you seen Austin Reeves when LeBron's not playing, when Luka's not playing? But what about when those two are playing and AR becomes a spot shooter, like I told you he would in the playoffs, and he wasn't built for the moment? Explain.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I have a
Drew, go
lot of things
first.
to
Drew, go
explain.
first.
First of all, if you watch that series and the reason that you think the Lakers lost was because of Austin Reeves, I think we should take your podcast privileges away because that Austin Reeves is the last look. He didn't play great. He was banged up. A lot of people are comparing
Understatement.
playoffs. He didn't play great. I mean, you're acting like the dude did, he had 16, 5 and 4 and 41 and 31 shooting. That's not great. That's also not terrible. Okay. The reason why we lost this series was because we were undersized at the end of the day. We had Rudy Gobert looking like prime Shaq in Game 7. Um, in my opinion, the biggest shock to me in this series, what I was not expecting, um, was Julius Randle. I think he was the MVP of their
Spectacular.
like.
He's
I think
spectacular.
I think he was the MVP of their series just because of his previous experience and performances in the playoffs. Not a great defender. Has always underperformed in playoffs when the lights were bright. Didn't seem like the greatest of locker room guys. The dude put up 23, 5 and 4 on basically 50, 40, 90 shooting. The dude, he killed the Lakers. Whenever the Minnesota Timberwolves needed a bucket down the stretch, it seemed like he was always hitting an open three or he was always posting up and hitting a fadeaway. I thought Julius Randle gave us a lot of problems. McDaniels played his ass off as well. Like to me, it was a pretty simple reason why we lost this series, and it wasn't
100%.
it wasn't because of Austin Reeves. JJ Redick didn't have a great coaching debut, but it's
Understatement.
but it's at the end of the day, it's not because that's not the reason why we lost. We were undersized. Every single possession where the Timberwolves would be on offense, it seemed like it was a Christmas miracle if we held them to one stop or one shot and we got a stop.
You just proved
So
my
it was
point, Drew.
the size and their role players played better than ours, but it was majorly the size.
Just prove
Can I
my
have the
point.
floor now?
Just prove my point.
No, it's not proving your point. Let me have the floor now, okay? I don't want to hear any interruptions from you, Jonah. Just let me get my statement out and then we can talk, okay? Let me piggyback off of what Drew said. The reason why the Lakers lost is because they had no center. Jackson Hayes averaged 6 minutes in that series, okay? The Lakers had no center. And if Austin Reeves played better, which he absolutely could have, I still don't know if the Lakers win the series. I think that it was exposed in terms of the lack of size that the Lakers had. And yes, JJ Redick got out coached. It was a overall bad first series for him. But I think he overcompensated because he knew that they had no size. And that's why he only trusted really 5 players, which was the starting 4 and Dorian Finney-Smith. Okay? Those are the only 5 players I think he trusted, and the Lakers had to go small because they had no size. And let me give you another reason why the Lakers lost. Points off turnovers. The Lakers were limited to 1 shot only. They had no offensive rebounding, okay? And they were turning the ball over way too much, didn't take care of the basketball. And in terms of second chance points in the NBA this season, teams averaged 10.5 points on second chance points. But the Lakers didn't have any of those because they have no offensive rebounding. So you're taking away 10 points there right off the bat, okay? Their defense wasn't terrible in the series. They were, for the most part, low-scoring games, okay? Game 1 was bad, and I believe it was Game 4 that was bad. But overall, it was the fourth quarter offense that really hurt the Lakers. It was because they were limited to 1 shot. They had no chance of getting any offensive rebounds, and they were playing way too undersized. That's why the Lakers lost. Yes, Austin Reeves could have played better. No question about it. But even if he does, I don't know if the Lakers win the series. Maybe it goes 7. And I think that we were overambitious going in because the Lakers had LeBron and Luka. But this ended up being a bad matchup, and it was evident from Game 1. It was a bad matchup for the Lakers. They actually were beat by a better team, better role players, and more size. But you can't tell me that Austin Reeves was the reason why the Lakers lost. Now, for a right trade, me and Drew, I think, agree that the Lakers could make a trade. At the time, I don't know that I would have said that Cam Johnson was the right trade with how Austin Reeves was playing. Okay. Austin Reeves had a great season, and he didn't play well in the series. But it's not like I'm giving up on Austin Reeves. Lakers were undersized, and they got outplayed. That's why they lost.
You guys done?
What do you got now?
That was a whole bunch of excuses.
How is it excuses?
Half of
you just wanted to say that Austin Reeves didn't play well.
No. Half.
So Austin Reeves averaged 20 instead of 15. Did the Lakers win the series?
No, it's not about Austin Reeves playing well or playing poorly. It's about the fact that your third best player is a worse version of your best 2 players. You guys are a glorified Phoenix Suns. You just have 3 people that could do the same thing. You should have traded Austin Reeves. He doesn't have a no trade clause like Bradley Beal. That's their excuse. You guys were stubborn. You thought that you could just outscore people. You have a center on the roster, but your coach was the most stubborn, didn't make a substitute in the entire second half of Game 4.
Who would you have played?
No. Hold on.
What center are you talking
Jackson
about?
Hayes. Why don't you play Jackson Hayes? Why do you put Maxi Kleba in the game, who hasn't played since January? It's because your coach was stubborn. He was trying to prove a point, and he refused to play your only other big guy who could make Rudy Gobert not look like Wilt Chamberlain, getting every offensive rebound. But you guys stuck to the same small ball, thinking that it would work. You should have made a trade. You didn't. And this is what happens when you're stubborn and just don't listen.
You're acting
disagree.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You're acting like Jackson Hayes, and don't get me wrong, he was very good during the regular season.
Thank you.
But it was very apparent that he cannot play more than 15 minutes in a playoff scenario. And there's a reason why he has not been a starting center in this league ever.
Bro, you have to put him in the game.
I understand that. I understand. I just said that JJ Redick overcompensated because of the lack of size, but he didn't trust Jackson Hayes. He didn't trust him.
You brushed through that point. Like, stick on the point. Why didn't JJ Redick play his big man when you're getting out-rebounded every possession? Stick on that.
Okay, first of all, our big man Jackson Hayes is a 6'10", undersized in terms of playing against Rudy Gobert, and he had 4 games to prove himself. He didn't play well. He played 6 to 8 minutes in each game because he was in foul trouble. He wasn't rebounding the basketball, and he wasn't protecting the rim, which is the 3 things the Lakers need him to do. He wasn't a lob threat. Okay, those are the value that he was supposed to bring, and he didn't do that in this series.
Bro,
okay? It was an easy game plan for Finch to take Jackson Hayes out of the game, which he did. And by the time Game 4 rolled around in the second half, JJ Redick trusted 5 players.
Yeah, and that's horrible. You can't have
you
can't only trust.
I don't disagree with you.
And just alienate the rest of your team. Obviously, when you put Jackson Hayes in, he knows you don't believe in him. You're just going to put him in for 4 minutes, and if he messes up, you're taking him out the game. That's not good coaching.
Jonah,
Jonah,
we
no
don't
one's disagreeing
disagree.
with you.
We don't
Okay,
disagree with the fact
that's a
that he should
roster
have played
construction issue.
more than 5 players.
Okay.
At the end of the day, we did not have a big who can be out there that is currently on our roster. Hence, is the reason why Alex Len or Jackson Hayes or any of the centers that we have ever been able to do that. Like, we don't disagree with that, but
Yes.
he wasn't dealt a great hand.
No,
Bro,
And
but you
okay.
have
like
to.
the margin for error when you have that that difference of a size between teams,
Yes.
like that the T-Wolves don't have to play. They did not have to play a great game to still beat it. Like we had to play damn near a perfect game every game just to
Yes.
win.
Yes,
You
because
know,
the
Bro, that's
matchup was in
'cause
our favor.
that's
The
'cause
Lakers were limited to one shot, and on many occasions, Minnesota was getting 2 to 3 shots of possession because
bro,
of the lack of
bec-
size. And that's
it's not
because the
lack of
Lakers
size.
roster construction with the Mark Williams trade not going through, the Lakers had no true center. He didn't trust Jackson Hayes. With your season on the line, he needed to trust 5 players, and
Bro,
it was a
but
small lineup.
you
this
And
is
I'm not
also
saying that that's the right thing to do. And I'm sure JJ
okay.
Redick is looking back at it right now and realizing he probably would have done things differently. But live and
No.
learn.
Did you
It
see his
doesn't change
press
my
conference?
opinion. It doesn't change my opinion. I think JJ Redick is going to be a great coach in the league, which I have not felt about the previous coach that the Lakers had.
And this is what happens when you trade a top 3 center in the world for a guy who plays point guard.
Yeah, let's
What do
understand.
you expect? We traded what you're
Yes.
describing for Luka Doncic.
Your
And
foundation.
I don't think anyone disagrees with the trade, but that's what happens when you trade a top 3 center in the league who does everything that you're saying for a guy who plays exactly like LeBron.
Like I said, I think that we went into it a little overambitious because let's face it, at the trade deadline when they made that trade for Luka, the Lakers had to completely change their entire foundation of how they run their offense. It was you're running it through your center, okay, and Anthony Davis, a 26 and 12 guy, rebounder, shot blocker, rim protector. You trade him for, like you said, arguably the best point guard in the world in Luka Doncic. It changes completely everything that you do. And the Lakers had 2 months to figure it out, and we thought that they did, but they ended up getting a bad matchup that we didn't think was going to be a bad matchup for them, and it exposed a lot of things, but maybe it turns into a blessing in disguise and it makes the Lakers get better this offseason. So forget the series. They lost in 5. What do they do this offseason? What do they do?
It's it. That's you can't run it back. You have to make major change. LeBron,
What is a major change?
a major change? Like, what's not a major change? Are you just gonna bring back everybody?
Reeves.
No, I think you should go get
a center.
Go get a
Try to
center.
get
Ooh.
as many 3-and-D guys as you could get.
Bro, you can't
Yes.
just say go get them. You have to get rid of people to do that. So what are you doing? And who you're trying to get?
If the right package came, I would consider trading Austin Reeves, but I don't think the Lakers are doing that. I think they are building around these 3 guys with a center and another 3-and-D caliber player, which I think the Lakers could possibly find via trade with the draft picks that they have with Dalton Connect, who they can possibly trade. I think the Lakers absolutely. If the Lakers had a center and had another guy in this series, would you say that they possibly could have won?
Yes, that's why I said
Yes.
AR for Cam Johnson and Miles Turner. But you guys didn't want to do it.
Jonah, you also have to realize that. Do you know Austin Reeves' contract that he's on? Which is by the way, one of the best contracts in the league right now. Do you know what his contract is? 4 years, $60 million. The dude is making $15 million a year. Who the hell are we gonna get straight up for Austin Reeves? That is an upgrade from Austin Reeves.
Bro, it's not
For
about
15.
it's not about talent. It's about fit. You have to find guys that fit.
What center are you getting for $15 million a year that is gonna upgrade our roster so much that makes Austin Reeves expendable? I do agree that we need a center, but it's not. Austin Reeves is not gonna get us a great center that's gonna turn us into a championship caliber team.
So you're just gonna sign some great center? Where are you getting
I'm
this
saying
great center from?
the Lakers can explore the trade market with the picks that they have. They have 1 tradable pick and 2 pick swaps that they can move this offseason. Dalton Connect, I think, is very, very on the market for the Lakers.
Bro,
okay?
but your coach
And-
minimized his value by not playing him. His
I
value's at an all-time low right now.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but you don't think that there's a team that would still take a chance on Dalton Connect?
For
There's
who though?
absolutely
You're not getting a great center for Dalton Connect.
You don't need a great center. You need
You
somebody
don't-
that is going to clog the paint, protect the rim,
Oh,
rebound, and be a lob threat. That's what you need with Luka.
is that not
That's what
Jackson Hayes?
Luka can win with.
Is
No,
that
it's
not
not.
Jackson Hayes?
No.
No,
So
it's
who is
not.
it? Who is it then?
He's been Jackson
Bro,
Hayes' whole career has been 15 minutes a game. Okay.
Bro, there's a gap between Jackson Hayes and Anthony Davis. So name someone in the middle
Okay,
that you think you could win a championship with.
I'll name some free agents that are on the board right now.
That you think
Centers.
will win a championship with.
No. I'm gonna see, are we like contenders with these guys? First one, Miles Turner. He's a free agent this year.
Yes.
If you just add him to the team,
He's a free agent.
bro.
It probably have to
asking.
be a sign and trade somehow.
Yeah,
but yes.
it would be
Yep.
a sign and trade.
Okay.
We're not the GM that need to make all these
Yeah.
details, Jonah. We're just talking out loud.
Okay.
Okay.
If you add Miles Turner, yes, you're very
Okay.
good.
Yes.
Brooke Lopez.
He's
No.
washed.
No.
Clint Capella.
Yes. That's a fit for Luka.
Okay.
A guy who's been in a lot of trade talks with the Lakers, Nick Claxton.
Yes, absolutely. Jonah,
Like-
you don't need a superstar. You have your.
Bro,
you need,
that's
like,
what I'm
you
saying.
need
I'm saying you don't need a
fit.
superstar.
fit. Yes.
I'm saying you don't need a
Claxton,
superstar.
absolutely. Yes.
But you're not getting these guys. That's what I'm saying.
Well, let's hope Rob makes some calls and we get someone in free agency.
I don't think anybody thought the Lakers are getting Luka. After that trade, I'm not going to rule anything out. I won't.
So you guys
After
getting
what
Giannis
happened
too?
there. I
What'd you say?
think the only way that Giannis would have possibly end up a Laker. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna talk about the Bucks in a second. But the only way that I think Giannis would end up a Laker is he absolutely forced his way to the Lakers and said that's the only team I want to play for, which I don't think he will do. So I'll say no, because there's other teams that can give a way better package than LA.
So let me ask you,
no.
you two Laker fans, this: is there any scenario where you don't bring back LeBron?
No. No, you don't
No,
back.
no, but
What
that
if?
was devil's advocate. Would you consider trading LeBron?
That's what I'm saying. Don't bring him back. Trade
No.
him.
I would.
What if it brings
Unless
in a
LeBron
Giannis?
demands a trade, LeBron were to demand a trade, I want out. But no, I wouldn't.
I don't think you can just because it's LeBron.
He also
And,
has a
like,
no trade clause. So if you offer a trade and he says no, then he in return demands out, then that's a whole other mess. I don't think the Lakers would even possibly want
Yeah.
to deal with that.
I just think it's a terrible look for the franchise. But like,
They're not going to do it.
let's say his name wasn't LeBron James, right? I would like very look at trading, and that's not an option.
What would you even try to get in return?
A center, a good center, or a
Not
three.
worth it. That's not worth it.
You need a
To
great
trade LeBron?
center.
No. I would only
Like a
entertain
center and
another
a center and
superstar
a
in
3 and
return.
D.
No, absolutely not.
What about
Lakers
Giannis?
won't do it. I don't think it's smart. No.
What about Giannis and Gary Trent?
Why would the Bucks make that trade? LeBron's going to be 41 years old.
Trade Giannis for a dude with one more
No,
year in the league.
Yeah. Why
Bro,
would Milwaukee do that?
If Giannis demands
dumb.
out,
Okay, these are all
Giannis
stupid
demands out.
hypotheticals that
Let's
aren't
just
gonna
get away.
happen.
We're hurting our credibility talking about
Yeah,
this.
okay. Okay.
Get
Next
back on
series.
any more centers you want to mention?
hey, better luck next year, Lakers. Better do something this offseason.
Yeah, I think there's moves that can be put in place that could help the Lakers, though.
And the league's
And I
not
think it
getting
starts with
the West.
Center.
The West not getting any easier.
get a center, get some more length that can shoot the three ball, and I think the Lakers absolutely with JJ Redick, I think he's going to continue to get better as a coach too. I don't think JJ Redick makes the same mistake twice, especially he has a better roster construction. I really don't.
You give him one more guy that can crack the rotation, play some big minutes.
Yeah,
I think
JJ
we're good.
Redick was really hard on himself after the presser. Like he's gonna get better. Okay, like this guy is, I think, like kind of crazy in terms of like watching film and basketball and like craving winning. I think JJ Redick's a perfect coach. Didn't coach well, got out coached, but I think he'll be better. Okay, second team I want to talk about. You guys want to talk about either Milwaukee or Miami?
I want to talk about the Milwaukee Indy series.
Okay,
That was one of my like before the playoffs started. I was like very curious about that series. I was like looking forward to that one a lot.
By the way, was I the only one that had who had what were the predictions on that one?
I had Indy.
I had Milwaukee.
Let's see.
Classic.
Confirm with you.
Bro, I didn't know Dame was out.
I mean, he was
Yeah,
only
Drew
out for
had
like one game.
Indiana. Drew and me had Indiana. Okay, so we were right on that one. I had him
Yeah.
in 6. Drew had him in 7, and you had Milwaukee in 6. Okay,
Such a
so
terrible take, dude.
I think
Bro, I
Milwaukee.
should have known not to
We don't
bet
need
on
to
Doc
go. Let's
Rivers.
not go in too much detail with Indiana because they're still playing. Let's talk Milwaukee. I think they're in the toughest spot of any team this off. Where the heck did they go? Lillard's out next year. Does Giannis ask out? I asked that question on last episode on Cap or No Cap to you and Dan Drew, and I said, is it cap or no cap that he requests a trade? You guys said it was cap, but not impossible. Does your opinion change now of that because of what just happened? Lillard's gone next year. I mean, he's going to be hurt. They have no picks to trade. They're stuck with the roster. There's no cap space available. Like, what the heck do Milwaukee do? Because you can't just – Giannis ain't going to be patient forever.
I think they're in purgatory right now, man. They
Yeah.
got like they have a roster that does not work. They have a lot of really good players, but they don't have a really good team at the end of the day. When I watch the Bucks, they have a ton of good players. They have some decent role players, but it just does not work, does not fit. They have to make a change. I think Giannis and the organization are gonna have a really difficult conversation this offseason. And who knows? Does Milwaukee want to trade Giannis? Like,
Right. Yeah, to just reset everything.
yeah, like I think it could be
Get
more of
trade.
like a mutual, like it's gonna benefit both parties, I think.
Okay.
So I could see that
So,
happening.
Jonah, give your quick thought, and I have 2 questions to work off of what Drew just said for you guys.
Yeah, I think Giannis and the Bucks, their time has come to an end. It was a great
Yeah.
run. He brought him a championship, but it's time to move on.
Okay, so cap or no cap. First game of the season next year, Giannis will be in a different jersey.
That's facts.
Mm. I'd probably bet on that. Yeah.
Okay, so do you guys think the trade, like you said, is it going to be a reset where they're just going to try to get picks in return?
Yeah.
Like
That would be the
okay.
smart thing to do.
So do you guys know who has the ability to make that trade? Have you guys looked
Thunder.
into this?
Okay, see?
That wasn't the team that I think. Yes and no. I think it's going to come down to how Oklahoma City does this year. If they get knocked out in the second round, I think that you could see Oklahoma City engaging in that. But it's San Antonio.
Yeah, I saw that
They
too.
have I think close to around 30 picks over the next, I think, 6 or 7 years that they can trade, and they can trade Stephon Castle, who just won Rookie of the Year. Could you imagine a tandem of De'Aaron Fox, Wemby, and Giannis?
That'd be terrifying.
That's
terrifying. And
I think for me, if he was getting traded, and there was a betting line, I think they'd be the favorites to land him, that's tough in the West because that's like that team's not only good right now, but they're good for probably the next 5-6 years at least. That can only get better.
I mean, they're going to be good regardless. Like,
Yeah,
even
they're going to
if
be good next year.
Yeah, like they're set for the next at least like 8 years. I mean, as long as Wemby's there,
Yeah.
like, they'll be all right.
Right.
But dude, the Twin Towers with Wemby and Giannis, I don't need to hear
That's
that as a
scary.
Lakers
Yeah.
fan. No,
I know.
I don't know though. Like, do you think? I mean, they could make a pack. They do have some good young dudes too. Castle,
Yeah.
Sochin, what's his name? The little shooter, Vassell. Like, they could throw some
I
guys
think
too
I
with
do.
a lot
I
of
think
picks.
they have I think the most appealing. If that's what the path Milwaukee wants to take in terms of just like we got our championship, it's not working, time to reset everything. I think San Antonio would absolutely be picking up the phone, and that's a real conversation to have. But it's going to come down to what Giannis wants. But I wouldn't be surprised if he wants to change the scenery.
Okay, let's say I'll throw out a scenario. Let's say Thunder give up someone like either one of Chet or Jalen Williams, and then some picks for Giannis, and some other salary fillers, or the Spurs throw Vassell and some of their younger guys. But keeping Wemby, Fox, and Giannis. Who's scarier?
I think that it's gonna be. Are you saying what trade would be better for Milwaukee, or what team is scarier?
What team is scarier with Giannis?
I think Oklahoma's. Oh, that's tough. I think San Antonio would have a higher chance of getting Giannis just because I think the picks are more valuable in San Antonio than they are in Oklahoma City with how teams have been. So I think Milwaukee would entertain that more, but I think Oklahoma City would be scarier.
Yeah, it's definitely OKC. OKC just won 6
But
of the games
yeah,
and adding Giannis. Like the Spurs is
but
more hope and potential, but OKC is immediately
but
finals favorites.
I
You
don't
you
know if
think
Oklahoma City. I don't know if Oklahoma City even take. I mean, they're right now steamrolling. I mean, with where we are right now filming, they're 68 win team, and they just absolutely whoop some ass against Memphis. Like they're right now like living
what
up
that
to
trick?
they right now are living up to the 68 win team. Now we'll see what happens, but I mean, if they make it all the way to the finals, and I don't know if they'd even want to entertain that. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we'll see. But that's such a hard question because of how high the ceiling is for Wemby. You know, um,
Hmm.
I mean, pick your poison.
Yeah, I don't know. Both are scary at the end of the day. I also want to give a shout out to Tyrese Halliburton, game winner. I look, that's my guy right there. One of the best point guards in the league. He's like a modern day Jason Kidd. Chill,
We'll
Jonah.
talk.
What's that look for?
We'll have that. We'll have a conversation with Indiana later, whenever because they're still playing. So
It-
I want to talk about
It's
another big market
hold
team.
on, Vinny. You can't just let him say that. You
But
said
Tyrese,
Tyrese is a modern day Jason Kidd.
What's wrong with that?
You realize Jason Kidd is like one of the 5 best point guards to ever play?
I'm just saying the way he plays is
No, it's
exact.
not.
Like, bro,
It,
dude,
bro, he's a
I don't
modern
know if that's a
day.
terrible comp. I don't know if that's a terrible
that
comp.
that's not,
If you go look at the numbers, if you go look
ridiculous.
at the numbers,
That's ridiculous.
bro. I mean, he basically plays like what Lonzo Ball. Everyone thought Lonzo Ball was gonna be like in the NBA.
Is Tyrese even a top 5 point guard in the NBA?
Absolutely. Don't disrespect
yeah.
an
No, he's not.
Well,
Olympian,
who are the
a
point
gold medal
guards? Yeah,
Olympian.
let's
No.
go. Let's go real quick. Like two minutes, and then we gotta. I want to ask another team, but I want to answer that. Steph, Luca,
Shay.
Shea.
Don't say Dame. Don't say Dame.
I'm not giving it to Dame.
Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton.
Brunson for
Jalen.
sure. Brunson's good.
Uh, Cade. I like Cade.
Is Cade a point
Uh,
guard?
yes, he's a
But
point
like
guard.
you could say like the same thing about like Luca though too. Like is
Trey
he?
I think you're
Young.
right. Third.
Trey Young, John Morant, Jamal Murray.
I think Tyrese is right in that conversation with all those guys.
No,
Yep.
bro, he's not top
Like
five.
Tyrese was on Team USA.
He's
Those
not
guys
top
weren't.
five. He's,
It's a conversation,
bro,
but
I don't,
hey,
bro.
he's been
Team
doing
US
he's done a great job. He's done a great job in Indiana. Don't we'll
he's
talk
not
about
top
them
five.
later though.
He's not top
All
five.
right, we'll talk about them later. All right, other team I want to talk about. A tough season. They made the big trade, kind of with all the drama and the backlash, but they just got killed in the playoffs. Shout out to our boy Jaime, unfortunately. But what does Miami do? Because they're kind of in a tough spot too. Because they seem like they're kind of trying to build around Hero and Adebayo, but they didn't play that great after the Jimmy trade as a team. So where does Miami go? What does Pat Riley do?
What do you think, Jonah?
If I'm Pat Riley, I'm riding off into the sunset. I think he's had a great run, and
I don't think Pat Riley's
bro,
done.
I don't know if he wants to go through another rebuild, and I think that's kind of what they need.
You think they need a full rebuild?
Is Bam and Tyler Hero winning a championship?
But I think those two, I don't necessarily personally think that, but it's so hard to say. Like, I think there's a lot of value on that team that I won't say any names. There's just a lot of value on that team that I think via trade could bring back a lot, which I don't think would necessarily need a rebuild. Pat Riley, I don't think truly believes in rebuild. I mean, he
He
had one
doesn't.
real rebuild, and it was 1 year when they when they got the year before Shaq, and they opened up a lot of cap space. They brought in Shaq, they drafted Wade, and then they won the finals 2 years later. So
So
that's really the only real rebuild he's had. But
so
he's
He's more of
been
a
great at
revamp
turning teams
guy.
around pretty quick.
yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm saying, so
Yeah.
what move are they making where they're championship contenders next year?
Okay. Who who would you guys trade? Um, like who are you guys? If you're Pat, are you looking to trade Tyler? Are you looking to trade Bam? Or are you looking to trade some of the role
I
players and
think
kind of
I
ride it
think
out with that?
I think if you're talking more Tyler or Bam, I think Bam holds more value. I think because I think teams probably look at the value he brings on the defensive side of the ball too.
Yeah.
But it's hard to say. Um, it's hard to say when you have Hero who's so ball dominant now. I don't. You have to choose a path. Is it that you want another ball handler, a side that can score the ball with Tyler Hero, or is it a guy that you want to play a 1-2 tandem with Bam as the big? I just don't think that a Tyler Hero Bam tandem is going to get you to the finals again. Um, but like Khalil Ware has value.
Yeah.
Not that I want to see it, but Jaime I think holds a lot of value. Um, I think that it's going to be interesting to see what they do with the trades that they brought in, like Andrew Wiggins, Davion Mitchell. Like, are those guys now they want to run it back with those guys and add on to it, or were those kind of just like a filler contract for them, and they're going to reset?
It
It's
was
hard.
low. It was weird too. They just had like their postseason like exit interviews, like public interviews essentially with the press, and a lot of those guys like declined their interviews. And
Yeah,
the dudes who did do the interview, Bam being one of them, he was saying he expects there to be a lot of big changes.
yeah, I
So
saw that.
I don't know, man. It kind of seems like a little turbulent summer out there in the 305. Um, I don't know if do you guys think Pat's walking? Do you guys think Pat's a
No,
problem? I know he.
I don't.
I'm locked in with Heat Twitter, and all of Heat Twitter hates that guy.
For
Uh,
now, for now,
yeah,
I think give it give it 5 months where Pat. I think Pat, regardless of what happens this offseason, I think you're going to see a vision of what their path they're going to take. Because right now it looks like they're kind of in between. Like, where do they go? I
yeah.
think by the time the offseason's over, whether it's for this next upcoming season or the year after, I think you're going to see a direction. And look, Pat Riley is one of the greatest minds that this game has ever seen, and I don't think that the game has changed too much where he can't adapt and put a good roster together. This team was in the finals 2 years ago. Okay, they were a
Don't
playoff
remember.
team. They were a playoff team still after LeBron James left. Okay, they were in the finals the second year that they got Shaquille O'Neal. Like, he's built rosters, and I think that he. I don't know what path they're going to take, but I don't. I think in 2 years they're going to be right back in the conversation in the East. But I don't know what they're going to take. But I'll ask one more question to you guys on that matter. Is it a higher chance that Bam is on the Heat next year, or Tyler Hero, or both of them? What's the highest possibility you guys think?
I think Bam is for sure there.
For sure there. So you think it's higher that Hero's gone or Hero's still there?
Uh, maybe Hero gone,
He's got a
but
big contract. He's
I
got a
don't.
big contract now.
I honestly don't see them making a huge move.
So you think it's on the margins?
Yeah.
It's tough for me to say. I like both of them.
I do
If
too.
I
I think absolutely I do. I just
yeah.
don't know. I don't know the path they take though to upgrade.
Yeah, both really cool dudes too, really nice. It's hard because I think Bam has more value and Tyler's contract ends, I think, after this summer. Like he's due for an extension coming up this summer.
Yeah,
And who knows how that's gonna go. So that may make it a little more difficult to trade that contract depending on what the Heat give him. But I don't know. I could probably see Tyler being more on the trade block than Bam,
yeah.
honestly. But
Do you think something's bigger is coming this offseason, or is it more of what Jonah was saying?
I don't think so, man. I think they have a lot of really good players. I think it's just they need to make a little tweak. Like they don't need to make a drastic change. I think they got to try to find better fits and also have a. I think a lot of the players didn't know their roles as well. Um, like there was just a lot of uncertainty, and obviously the whole Jimmy saga was bad.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be some changes. I don't know if it's going to be drastic, like trading like Bam or anything like that.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
Obviously, I'm pulling for Miami. I love Miami. Our best friend plays for them, so I hope all the best for Miami. It's going to just be interesting what they do because it was a tough season for them for sure.
absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shout out to Go Five, baby.
For
Always treat
sure.
me well.
Okay, so we talked about Lakers, Bucks, Heat. Final team I want to talk about first round. I felt like it was a great series. Probably the most fun series to watch was Clippers Nuggets, and then Game 7 was just a blowout. It was just all Denver in Game 7. So what do the Clippers do? I also want to talk about that series a little bit too because that was a great series. And then Game 7, did you guys see that bomber flew out like 130 or 120 Clipper fans?
Yeah, from the
Denver.
wall.
Yeah, and then it was just a blowout.
Yeah.
So what about the Clippers? Because I think a lot of people, I think they exceeded expectations in the regular year. Kawhi looked great when he got going at the end. And then people really thought that they could possibly make a run to the finals, and then they're out in the first round again. So what do the Clippers do?
I'll let the Clippers fan talk about it first.
Yeah, I'm not a Clippers fan. Don't get it twisted, but I was sad to see the Clippers go. I thought this was a year that James Harden can make a bit of a run, kind of
You
turn.
say that every
Every
single year.
year.
Every year. I can pull it up since 2020. Since 2020.
Bro, like you would think at some point, like
Nope.
okay,
No, we don't.
I've had 8 bad game sevens in a row, but year 9, this the year I'm gonna turn it around, and it's just like it's tough. Like there's nothing really I could say anymore. I love prime James Harden, but it it's just it hurts to watch as a huge Harden
It,
fan. I think I believe in James Harden more than himself. Like I truly believe that. Like he
let me
doesn't
tell you
seem
this real quick.
confident, and I feel like if he had me as a motivator, I think we could win the championship. But he doesn't have that guy in his corner.
So let me ask you this real quick. Guess the player. This player averages 19.3 points, 7.9 assists, 5.7 rebounds on a 35 and 22% clip. Who am I? That would be James Harden in Game 7 in his career. That would be James Harden. Okay, that's the
You
guy that you're talking about.
That is horrendous. And
Okay.
look, Jonah, he's gonna say, "Oh man, I really, I wish James Harden was better." Like it's
Bro, it's
sad.
not better.
No, keep
Believe.
keep the same
Believe.
energy you had for Austin Reeves as you do for James Harden.
Bro,
Yeah.
This
don't put
guy,
them in the same conversation. That's
no, no,
blasphemous. Stop
You
it.
want to
no.
talk
Get out of
about you
here.
want to talk about why the Clippers lost Game 7? It was because James Harden scored 7 points.
No, bro. It was a blowout already.
Okay. Let's get in.
The
Let's get
whole team
into.
wasn't ready. We don't have a
Let's
leader on that
And
team.
neither were the Lakers, but here we go. It's Austin Reeves' fault.
Yeah, let's get into James Harden's game 7 from last night. So he had 7 points.
Yeah.
5
Yep.
rebounds, 13 assists,
13 assists is very good.
team worst and plus minus 29. Um, shot 25% from the field and 25% from three. Um, only had 2 turnovers, which isn't terrible for James Harden in game
There
sevens,
we
if
go.
you
All
believe it or
right.
not. I guess that is a plus to take away from it. But it seems like we've seen this movie so many times. Every single year when the lights get brightest, the dude, all of a sudden he turns into Miami's most wanted, man. You don't know where he is. He's undetectable. You don't see him anywhere on the court. It seems like, if you do, he's doing all the worst things you could do as a basketball player in a game 7. And
Almost like it suits him being a Clipper.
absolutely, it's a match made in heaven, my boy.
Bro,
Match made in
you guys
heaven.
lost in 5. At least we made it 7 games against a better team.
I thought you weren't a Clipper fan.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Bro,
Stop it.
we James Harden Nation. That's
Yeah,
Look,
we.
and
Look,
that is a problem.
but before the series started, I thought the main difference of who's going to win the series was basically Jamal Murray versus James Harden, who plays better between those two. Um, let's look at Jamal put up 23, 5 and 5, 48, 40 shooting. Harden 19, 5 and 5. So it was close. But one guy did not have 7 points in game 7. One
I
guy
will just say
go for it, Vin.
that you guys had Clippers in 7, and I was the one who got it right, Denver in 7. So
And you know what?
I had a feeling if it got to a
Yeah,
game
Drew.
7,
Drew, you're
there
on
was an
my
outlier.
side. Why are you
No,
acting
I'm not.
like you're this prophet and just knew what was gonna happen?
I idiotically bought into the Clippers hype
Never do that.
in
Hey,
the
never
first
do
round.
that.
In the
Never
first
do
round,
that.
and I'll say it with my chest. I've been watching ESPN too much apparently because everyone thought they were going to win the championship this year, which I didn't have them getting out of the second round.
Oh,
I did. It was more of a problem with the Nuggets and the instability and the turbulence going on out there with the whole coaching and seems like the locker room kind of hated each other. Probably still do.
At the end of
But
the day, they have the best undisputed player in the world, and
yeah,
winning solves a lot of problems.
it's like I can't believe I actually tricked myself into believing. I knew this series was going to be close. It's probably going to go seven games. I can't believe I tricked myself into believing a team led by James Harden was going to win in Game 7. At the end of the day, the dude is one of the worst. He might be, honestly. I don't think this is a hot take either.
Let's
I
have that
think
conversation.
he is the worst high stakes performer MVP of all time. Of all time. And I don't
wow.
think it's close.
Okay, so bro, let's have a conversation about that. Like James
Yeah,
Harden.
entertain me, Jonah,
Okay.
please.
I mean, James Harden, we can all agree, arguably one of the most versatile offensive threats the league has ever seen in terms of scoring, passing, like handle, everything. Correct?
I wouldn't say versatile. Versatile doesn't come to mind because the dude needs to have
His
the ball.
What's a better
his
word?
peak in terms of scoring was yes. but
Okay, dominant.
That's one dimensional. That's one part of the
one
game.
of the most dominant offensive force we've ever seen. Correct?
I don't know if dominance.
Go there
he never
I
won.
can't go there just because in the playoffs.
That's
Yeah,
what.
it's like,
Okay,
it
I'm getting
doesn't work.
one of the most dominant regular season performers we've ever seen. Can we agree?
That's his prime, sure.
Yeah,
Sure. Yes.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
In his prime, back in Houston.
what do you guys think is the honest reason? As a James Harden fan, it baffles me. Why in Game 7s does he seem like disinterested? It literally like he's not aggressive. He just makes plays like he's not trying to win. Like he's not playing like himself. Why is that? It baffles me.
I just think his style doesn't match up well in the playoffs. I mean, a lot of what made him great was getting to the line and hitting tough step back 3-pointers and dribbling the hell out of the ball for the whole entire game.
That doesn't play in a Game 7.
And in Game 7, you're going to be tired. Your legs aren't going to be there, so the step back threes aren't going in. They're not going to call anything because you're not.
Yeah.
So you're not getting to the line. And it's like he doesn't use the mid range anymore. I mean, he's got a little floater, but I think
he uses it more lately.
He has, but it's a little questionable. But it just is. I don't think his game translates well to the playoffs, and it never has. It never has.
No, it's not like this is a Game 7 issue. This is a playoff issue.
No, it's a Game 7
but
issue.
it's highlighted more in Game 7.
Bro,
he statistically, historically has gotten worse as series have gone on. And that's not me just like ripping James Harden. That's been a fact. Like a couple years ago, I believe it was either Game 1 or 2 in Boston, and he had a monster game with Philadelphia.
Yeah, like 45.
And Jonah's texting the group chat saying, "Here we go, playoff James Harden," and then I think the next game he had like 12 or 13. Like he's gotten worse as series have gone on.
I don't
And
understand it, bro.
That's the James
I
Harden
think
experience.
that his game, I think in his game in a 7-game series that teams can kind of pick him apart a little bit. And by the time game 7 rolls around, I think that they have an answer for everything he does. And
Bro.
the whistle gets less and less as the series gone on because teams are getting the series is getting more physical and refs are letting a lot of stuff go. And his game historically has been getting to the line as a guy who foul baits a lot. And they just don't call that as much in the playoffs.
Bro, the Clippers gotta hire me. I know I can motivate Harden to play better in these performances. I know I can.
Yeah, because he's only had one coach for all 15 years that he's played in.
Bro, but someone's gotta talk to
Motivation
him.
is the problem.
Bro,
The motivation is the problem. It's not the product, it's the motivation,
Bro,
right?
someone has as a player, bro, so you need a coach to believe in you and motivate you. And I will do that for that man. I promise you. James, email us. I got you, bro. We're gonna win.
You think Mike D'Antoni didn't believe in him when he let him dribble every single possession for 24
Bro,
seconds?
Bro, but not
And
in game 7. The coach gotta talk to him. You gotta talk to him differently.
you don't think they've tried?
I don't know. I don't know.
These are professional coaches and basketball players. I'm dumbfounded right now.
Dude, I mean
that Jonah Control thinks he's the answer to James Harden's problems.
Bro, because it's not like X's and O's. It's literally just like a conversation about motivation and belief.
Okay.
Believe in yourself, James.
No.
You are so
All right,
good, James Harden.
Okay, it's so much more than that. But let's get off of James Harden and more talk like, can the Clippers do anything to get over the hump, or are they kind of also stuck in purgatory, similar to how Milwaukee is? And this is what they have, and they've had a Kawhi Leonard-led team since 2019, 2020, and they've gotten out of the first round, I believe, only twice, and they haven't gotten out of the first round the last 3 years. They've been to one conference finals. This was the best year, I think, for them to have a chance because he was healthy, and James Harden had an all-star season, and the pieces around them played well. Zubac took a step forward, and they still were done in 7. So what do the Clippers do?
I think they're stuck, man. To be honest, Kawhi's only getting older. James Harden is only getting older. Who knows? Maybe a little heavier too in the offseason, depending on how
James
he
Harden's a better
approaches
shape
this
than Luka.
offseason. Hey, James Harden got in phenomenal shape, and
He's also 10 years older, so I got more hope in Luka getting in shape.
Yeah, but Harden is in better shape than Luka. Give him credit.
Right now, but I think Luka's going to get in shape this offseason. That's my personal opinion as a Laker fan. But that's a different conversation. What do the Clippers do, Jonah?
Bro,
what do the little brothers do?
It's tough. What do you expect us to do? This was our year, Vin. I'm hurt. I don't know.
You've been saying this is our year since 2018.
Yeah. With
This
6
is our
different
year.
teams.
You said it with Houston. You said it with
Philly, Brooklyn,
the Nets,
Brooklyn.
Philly. Yeah, the Clippers.
Yeah.
He played with Chris Paul, Kevin Durant,
Russell
Kyrie
Westbrook.
Irving,
Don't start
Russell
naming
Westbrook,
people.
Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. 6 different superstars, and you said it was his
Joel
year.
Embiid.
Joel Embiid. Yeah. Come on.
I think
What's the excuse for the 3rd grade shooting guard, Jonah? What is it now?
I think we're gonna get out of there, and we got one more running us. We got one more.
With who? Don't you say the Lakers.
Dallas
Oh yeah, you can go to Dallas.
with KD. KD's coming too.
And who is Dallas gonna give up to get?
That's a bold. I'm writing that down.
KD
I'm writing that
and
down.
James
We're
Harden.
bookmarking this. We're
Look it.
bookmarking this. Dallas. Is that this next year without Kyrie?
Yeah, this coming season.
All right, so we're having AD, Harden,
KD.
and then who knows? Maybe Kyrie comes back in March. All right, Dallas.
There we
Dallas,
go.
stand up.
Hey,
Come on.
that roster might win it. Might
Nico-
sweep everybody. To be honest.
Nico Harrison, man. Nico Harrison bouncing back.
Wait,
Redemption time.
can I ask you Laker fans a question?
Yeah, and then Then I want to get into the draft.
All right, real quick question. You can spend a minute on it. Do you consider if this man wanted to coach your team, Mike Malone, are you having conversations?
No, I'm good
Assistant.
with JJ. I'm good with JJ.
Yeah.
Really?
I'm good with JJ. I don't know if Malone would want to do that. It seems like he's not a
He
Laker
he
guy.
he is quote your daddy for
Well,
an
didn't he used to be an assistant for the Lakers? I want to say he was an assistant for the Lakers for a little bit back in the day.
Let me fact check that.
I think I know he was with the Spurs under Pop,
because
I believe.
that's a great
Um,
coach that's available. Championship coach.
He's gonna be picked up by somebody, but it's not gonna be the Lakers. He's gonna be picked
yeah,
up this offseason by
dude,
somebody.
we got our
No,
guy,
Mike Malone never coached the Lakers.
huh? That's the Spurs
Um,
I'm thinking
So
about.
so so you'd rather have JJ Redick than Mike Malone?
I think the Lakers are in a good spot with JJ Redick. I think it's somebody that they can build in for the next 10 years. I think that's a good working relationship with Luka, former teammates. It seems like in their presser after the in their exit interviews after they got knocked out, it seems like him and Palinka are on the same page of what the vision is for this team going forward. I think there's a good plan set in place with JJ. He can grow into that. And the Lakers need stability at that spot because they've had a lot of head coaching change over the last, I mean, really 15 years since Phil, right? And I think the Lakers need someone that can kind of just fill the void and be a lock there. No matter what the roster doing, you know that you have your guy at the top to run the ship, and I like JJ.
JJ is going to be good. He's on Luca's timeline too.
Yeah,
He's a players coach who's also like can get on players' asses as well, which is kind of rare to have that like respect to be able to do that, especially with superstars. Um, Look, he had a rough playoff first appearance. Am I worried about it? Absolutely not. I just think, it's his first time. You learn, you live and you learn. I don't this We didn't have a great shot of winning it at the end of the day in hindsight, just with how our roster was constructed. I think he's a great coach, though. I think it only gets better. He's young. He knows what works with the players and what doesn't. He's friends with half majority
yeah,
of the league. Like I think he's gonna be
yeah,
great.
yeah. I like that. I like that spot there. Okay,
Yeah.
so NFL draft time. It just happened about a week ago. A lot of controversy with what was going on with Shedeur Sanders. Just a quick rundown. Top three picks were Cam Ward out of Miami. Then we had Travis Hunter out of Colorado. Rumored to still play both sides of the ball, whether at cornerback and wide receiver. And then third pick was Abdul Carter out of Penn State, defensive end. Um, so everyone thought that outside of those three, there was possibly a Shedeur Sanders top 5 selection coming. And not only did he fall out of the first round altogether, he fell to the 5th round, got taken by the Browns. What is your guys' take on what the heck happened with that? Because I think that's over the last several years one of the biggest controversies in the NFL draft that we've seen with a guy falling that far out, and no one really knows the real reason why. I have my explanation to what I think, but I want to hear what you guys think on that.
Go ahead, Drew.
So what I've seen, like the reports and stuff like that, one, he was very underprepared in a lot of his QB meetings with
Yeah.
the teams that were looking at him. But I've thought this for a while. I He has shown some very poor leadership skills, in my opinion. Um, you know, post game press conferences, kind of throwing his teammates under the bus a little bit. There was I'm paraphrasing this, but this was last year when he was getting sacked a lot, which, hey, I would be mad too. But a reporter essentially asked him, like, what they got to do better. Um, and he was like, look, this is obviously me paraphrasing, but he essentially said, I'm doing my job. My old line's got to pick it up and basically just allow me to do me. And I thought that was a major red flag, personally. That's a conversation I think you have inside the locker room. I don't think you throw your guys under the bus like that publicly.
Especially the guys who protect you on the front line too.
Exactly. Like if I'm an O line, like I'm not gonna like that. Like, yeah, you tell me straight to my
Yeah.
face and we're good. You don't go, talking about this to the reporters and telling me that and I find out on social media, right?
Right.
I think he's lacking some leadership skills. that turned off a lot of the NFL owners and GMs. Do I think he should have fell to the fifth round? Absolutely not.
Yeah, he's not
Um,
a fifth round talent. Like,
no, no, not at all. I just think is everything outside of football, I think is a big red flag for
yeah,
me if I were um, a GM, and I think that's what a lot of them kind of thought when
yeah.
evaluating him, and he obviously didn't do well being prepared and going to those QB meetings. So I think it was mostly that.
What about you, Jonah?
So I think that a lot of what you said is true, Drew. And then I also think at the end of the day, his talent to NFL GMs and owners, his talent doesn't outweigh the distraction. So like if you're a blue chip franchise quarterback, teams will put up with more distraction, and we've seen that from guys throughout the past. But if teams don't view you as that, and you might potentially be a backup, you don't want your backup being having more headlines than your starter. And anytime your starter has a bad game, you don't want Shedeur speaking out, Dion speaking out. And I think it's just more of a distraction than teams were willing to put up with compared to the talent level and production that they see. So if you're a backup, it's tougher to be a celebrity and get
You, you
drafted
think
high.
he's a backup quarterback in the league?
I think teams see him as a backup, and that's why he fell that
See,
far.
I don't know. I don't know if teams view him as necessarily a backup long term. I don't know if they view him as a franchise changing quarterback, but that doesn't mean you're a backup in the NFL. I don't know if teams view necessarily the arm talent as a guy that's going to win you a Super Bowl, and that is, I will agree with teams. It outweighs the distraction, right? Um, I think he went into a lot of these interviews with the perception that teams walked away with him pretty much acting like he's already accomplished his dad's career. But and he hasn't even entered the NFL yet with how he's talking and how he views himself. And he had a press conference saying he was asked why should teams pick you, and I'm paraphrasing here like Drew did, but he was pretty much saying that if you don't want me to be me and pretty much change everything for your franchise, then don't pick me. And I think that rubbed teams the wrong way. I don't think teams want to hear that, saying that if you're not necessarily doing your job correct, then don't take me. And then I'm the guy that can change everything. You have to let me be me. And I don't think teams view that as a positive sign from your quarterback and as a guy that's going to be your first round pick and lead your franchise for years to come. And I think on top of that, I don't think teams want to deal with the distraction that his dad possibly brings too, because his dad is going to have a voice wherever Shedeur is playing. I mean, after the pick fell as far as it did to the fifth round, they asked Dion about it, and he's like, "We'll get to the bottom of this, and we'll know why." And he was in the middle of it, and I don't think teams want to deal with that. I don't think want to deal with the quarterback's dad, trying to be in the middle of all of it, whether it's Deion Sanders or not. Obviously, Hall of Famer. I'm not disrespecting the player that Dion was, but I don't think teams want to deal with all the baggage that comes with it, and that's why he fell to the fifth round. Um, so I don't think that takes away that I think he can still have a good career. I think playing with Cleveland, it's going to be a very interesting quarterback room that they have there. So we'll see what happens with Sean Watson on the team still. So
You think
I
you think speaking of that quarterback room, you think Shador is the best rookie quarterback in that quarterback room?
in that room, he's the best quarterback in that room or best rookie quarterback in that room.
Rookie quarterback, and we could go quarterback too because they drafted Dylan
Um,
Gabriel.
yeah. Time will tell. I don't know. I wasn't as high on Shador in college as other people were. I mean, he was trying to say, like in his press conference, the thing that I said that, you know, if you don't want me to come and bring winning, then don't take me. Like he was saying, he did it everywhere, but I think he was over analyzing what he defines as winning. I don't think Colorado accomplished a lot. Sure, they won more games than they did without him before he got there with Dion, but it's not like Colorado was flirting to be in the playoff. They had a good season last year, and they had a bad season the year before. So I'm not so sure that right away he's going to end up being the best quarterback, but I think long term, I think you can bet on the family in terms of the athlete that he is, that he might end up being the best.
Yeah. I will say I was never the biggest fan of him, and I also wasn't the highest on like his actual skill set and just on the field as
Yeah.
well. But this does make me want to root for him a little bit because
Yeah, we'll see what
like
happens.
the league definitely made an example of him. At least to me, it feels
Yeah,
like it kind of seemed like every team didn't want to be that team that drafted him essentially. Um,
right.
but it does make me in a sense, root for him. And I hope it adds fuel to the fire. And I hope maybe this could be the best thing that could have happened to him. You know, if he was a top 5 pick, maybe he doesn't, he, it just goes straight to his head, all to his head. And, it works out for the worst. But who knows? This could be a blessing in disguise for him.
Did you guys see the prank call that happened?
Yeah.
That was brutal. That was wrong on so many levels. Um, it was funny, like, but that was wrong. And then to find out that it was a defensive coordinator's son in the NFL that did it,
Yeah.
um, that's brutal. Um, so that just like throwing all of that into it, like this is such a weird. It really took away from the actual draft itself because there was some pretty good players. Um,
That was the
so I'm
biggest
not very
headline of the draft.
Yeah, for
100%,
To be
sure.
honest,
100%.
like,
So
no.
do you guys have? Yeah, biggest headline, no doubt. So do you guys have one player that you guys the pick that you like? I don't need to go much detail, but just a pick that you're like this I think is gonna end up being good for that franchise. Jonah, you can go
Um,
first.
okay, go for it, Jonah.
Yeah, I'm the football guy in this meeting right here. I'm a Travis Hunter guy. I might be getting me a Travis Hunter jersey. We're gonna turn the league upside down. A two-way player. I love that. Give me
You
Travis Hunter.
think
I'm rocking with him.
you,
Hall of
you think
Famer.
long
Hall of
term
Famer.
you think he plays meaningful snaps on both sides of the ball?
Yeah,
Or do you think eventually he's gonna have to stick with one?
yeah. I think he has potential to
Yeah.
become like a Shohei Ohtani type.
I think it's gonna come down to the physicality. I just don't know if he's strong enough to withstand playing snaps on both sides of the ball yet. Time will tell. But in terms of athlete and projectability, yeah, I think talent wise, he absolutely could. But we'll see. I think he has to put on some weight this offseason for sure. What about you, Drew?
Yeah, I love Travis as well. I hope he can play both sides of the ball. I think that'd be
Me
great for
too.
football.
Yeah.
Just in general, and he is like an electric player to watch. Just in general, I mean that dude's a walking highlight. For me, I like what the Bears did. Colston Loveland out of Michigan, big old tight end, good hands, could put his helmet down and block a little bit. I think it's gonna make Caleb Love's life a lot easier. USC in the house, baby. USC football. Obviously, room for our guy Caleb. Me and Vinny are. Jonah's not the biggest Caleb Love
Jonas
fan,
not the biggest fan.
Caleb Williams.
but look, I love the pick, man. I love a big target that he's dirty, he's tough, good hands. I like making Caleb Love's life a little easier.
Bro, it's Caleb Williams.
Williams. Caleb Williams.
His name Caleb Love, bro. See,
Who's
that's how you know he's not no Caleb Williams fan. He doesn't even know his
Shut
name.
up,
He said
bro?
Caleb Love like 4 times.
Oh, Caleb Love's the dude from NC. No, that's on me. That's on
Oh,
Oh,
me. No,
that's how. Hey, real quick, Caleb Williams, one of the most disappointing rookie seasons in the last
he'll
25
bounce back. He'll bounce
bro,
back. I
stop.
was
You didn't.
confused at first with
I,
where you were going. You said USC, and I was like, yeah. And I was like, wait, you're not. That's Caleb Williams.
Yeah, no.
I told you guys Caleb Williams was overrated coming out of
You
USC, and I
can't
was
just
right.
get. You should. That's a different conversation. I
That's a
think Caleb
different
Williams
That's
will
conversation.
bounce
that's
back.
the same
He'll bounce back.
conversation. That's the same conversation.
He's gonna be
I think
good.
he'll
He's
bounce
gonna
back.
be good.
No,
Get him
I
offensive line. Get him some more dudes. He'll be all
no,
right.
bro.
He'll be good.
You can't name me a good USC quarterback the last 50 years.
we can have that on a different. We're talking about the NFL draft right now. I love Caleb Williams. I think he's gonna have a bounce back season. Was in a bad organization in a bad situation, but I think he's gonna end up being okay. The talent's there. The arm talent's there. that's a different conversation. You're not going to hear me say a bad thing about Caleb Williams on this episode.
Yeah,
So,
of course not, because you're a blind supporter of anything USC.
well, with that said, the pick I liked was Ashton Genty
See,
for the Raiders, and I like the move from Boise State, running back. And I like the move because I actually see a lot of Pete Carroll's vision maybe with the Marshawn Lynch with the Seattle Seahawks. I see a lot of maybe the Reggie Bush from USC back with Lindell White. I like that move. I think the Raiders. I asked Andrew and Daniel this last episode, cap or no cap, about Pete Carroll winning a Super Bowl with the Raiders, and we both all agreed that that's probably not going to happen. He's only on a 3-year contract, and I don't know how much extended that window is with Las Vegas after the 3 years because he is the oldest coach in the league now. But I think they absolutely can make the playoffs in those 3 years. I think you're going to see – I think that's realistic.
With who?
The Raiders.
bro, that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying, bro. Pete Carroll, just because he went to USC, he's not making no playoffs, Vinny.
They
You
don't
don't
even have a playoff roster right now either.
Bro,
I think
Pete Carroll-
within 3 years, I think you'll see a jump. I think that he
No,
believes
bro.
in Geno Smith as a quarterback. He got into the playoffs. I think that's an underrated addition to the team. You still have Crosby, and I think Genty's going to end up being a good running back. I really do.
I mean, I like Geno. It's hard to dislike the guy, but I mean, he's
And you
he's a
can't
wild,
you
he's a
can't
wild,
disrespect
wild card quarterback at best.
I'd agree that. I'm saying I think in 3 years they could make the playoffs though.
Bro, Mahomes not going anywhere. Herbert's not going anywhere. At best, you're third place every year. And Denver's on the rise.
I understand, but so you don't even think a wild card's in the conversation in 3 years.
Maybe.
But like, are we
I think-
celebrating wild
Maybe.
cards?
No, I'm just saying I like this addition. I think this is like a good foundation start for Pete Carroll and the Raiders going forward. I like this pick. I think he's going to end up being a good player. That's my personal opinion. And I think in the 3 years you will see the Raiders in the playoffs.
Bro,
Guarantee. I'm putting it down. Charles Barkley.
that's a horrible take. That's gonna age so bad.
Why? Let's have a
Bro.
little wager with it. Friendly wager. I think that there's a higher chance of that happening than Kevin Durant and James Harden going to Dallas.
Bro.
Now, if I could put
But-
money on that, yeah, I would put money on that as well.
The Raiders.
So I don't think the Raiders are getting out of the first round in the next 3 years. I'll put money.
I
on
didn't say that. I'm just saying I think that you're going to see some major strides with them. And you can't underestimate the caliber of a coach that Pete Carroll is. He really was one bad decision away from building a dynasty in Seattle. They would have back-to-back Super Bowl champs, and who knows what trajectory that would have taken. He won national titles with USC. He's been historically in the playoffs.
and he was cheating at USC.
So is everybody else.
Stop
So
it.
is everybody
Stop
else.
it.
You can't
Why they take Reggie Bush's Heisman, not everyone else's?
because they're the ones that really got caught. Okay, you can't
Bro,
tell me that no
Don't
one
do
else
that,
is doing
Vinny.
it.
Don't do that. That's a cop out.
Hey, the greatest quarterback is a cheater. The greatest quarterback ever is a cheater too.
Ooh.
So Tom Brady,
What do you mean cheater?
Deflating footballs.
Don't
deflating
talk about-
footballs,
bro,
and then
get outta
during the
here.
Super
I
Bowl
love Tom
with
Brady. That's the GOAT. But you can't be like, I mean, it's give or take.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I
Don't-
think everyone does it.
You
in
can't
football.
tell me. You can't tell
don't
me
put
that
it-
USC wasn't a national powerhouse. Regardless of that, everyone was paying players.
Bro, USC, man, come on.
Everyone was paying players, and that's why it's legal now because everyone was doing it.
No,
Okay, that's why
bro,
NIL is
you guys
what it is.
were some cheaters, and you should have a longer punishment than what you did.
What do you mean? They couldn't have. They weren't playoff eligible for like 10 years.
Bro, that's horrible. That's bro, that in collegiate sports too.
Everyone
Bro,
was doing it.
bro,
Stop it.
you-
You're blinded. You're blinded
like-
in denial if you think that wasn't going on.
That's like a criminal offense.
Stop it.
You can't sit here and tell me that he was the only one in the country that was doing it, okay? I'm just saying you have to respect the resume of Pete Carroll and what he's accomplished over the last 25 years as a coach across college football and the NFL. He's won a Super Bowl. He was one bad call away from winning back-to-back. I
Yeah.
think that this draft pick is a good step in the right direction for Las Vegas. Okay? And I think that they realistically can make the playoffs under this 3-year deal that they have with him. I don't think he took the deal to just take the money and coach. I think that he believes that they could do that. I think you're going to see them better than they were last year this upcoming season, and I think in 2 years they're going to be in the conversation to possibly make a wild card. That's my pick. That's my bold prediction. I think Gentie's going to play a big part in that. I think he's going to be a good player in the NFL. That's the pick that I like.
I mean, I don't disagree with any of what you just said, but they're not sniffing a Super Bowl with Pete Carroll there, in my opinion.
No,
and he's a great coach. Great coach.
They're not good. They're not good enough for that. But
Yeah.
I think in 3 years, that they'd have them, I think that they're going to be a lot better than they were. So,
yeah, I like the pick though. I like the pick.
So,
he's gonna bring some excitement to the city too.
Yeah,
great player. So,
all right. So we spent a lot of time that we didn't think we were about Jonah telling us what we did wrong in the previous episode with Dan. So we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna end up getting us out this summer to a gym, and we're gonna put it all out there. 1-on-1 3-point contest. Hopefully Jaime can be there to kick your guy's butt and whatever Jonah was talking about.
Oh, yeah. He gonna be there.
We flying to Miami, baby. We flying to Miami. There's gonna be a big
and then
there's no ducking. No ducking.
And then we talked about where teams that have been knocked out in the first round, what they should do this offseason, what went wrong. And then we just kind of gave our little opinion on the Shedeur situation and a pick that we like in the NFL draft. So if you guys haven't caught up with any episodes, who's watching out there, episodes 1 through 7 are on our YouTube page, just like this one will be. Our YouTube pages, Garage Close at 9 Pod, just like our social media pages, our TikTok and our Instagram, both give highlights and reels of our episodes that we've had so far. So if you guys are looking to catch up on anything missing, this was episode 8. Any closing thoughts, guys?
Go Warriors. Game 7.
I want the Pacers to win or the T-Wolves. Those are my two teams I'm rooting for.
Yeah, so we'll see. As this episode is filming right now, it's Game 7, Warriors Rockets. Either Warriors advance or they blow another 3-1 lead. So we'll see.
I'm praying to see that. I'm praying to see that.
We're getting ring number 5 this year. Come on, Steph. Come on, playoff Jimmy.
All right, we'll see. All right, we'll see.
You guys see how quick he starts saying "we"? Right when his team that he wants to win loses, he starts saying "we" with another team immediately.
All right, we'll see what happens with that. We're not saying go Warriors in this chat. So that was episode 8, everybody. Appreciate you, and until next time, the garage is closed.